Attention, Texans fans, a news item that shakes the fans' hearts and stirs the NFL backstage has just broken, bringing shock and an unexpected twist to the roster. One of the pillars of the Texans' recent defensive history has abruptly decided to end his career just as teams prepare for the grueling 2025 season. This decision not only creates a void on the defensive line but also sparks heated debates among analysts and fans about the future of the Texans' defense and the impact this loss will have on the team's upcoming challenges. Welcome! Show your support for the Texans by reaching 100 likes on today's video. The first news we will dissect involves Tyrann Mathieu, a name that certainly resonates in the memory of Houston Texans fans and echoes throughout the NFL universe. Mathieu, known as the Honey Badger, officially announced his retirement after 12 years marked by highs and lows, brilliance, and relentless battles on the field. He ends his career right when the 2025 preparation training begins to stir the league, catching many by surprise. Mathieu's journey was marked by intense phases, starting his NFL career as a third-round pick in the 2013 draft, coming from LSU. The defensive back initially made his name with the Arizona Cardinals, where his first 5 years were crucial for his establishment, including an All-Pro recognition in 2015. His aggressive style and constant presence in the Cardinals' secondary drew attention and cemented him as one of the best safeties of his generation. In 2018, Tyrann Mathieu accepted the challenge of joining the Houston Texans, playing a full season as a starter in 16 games. That memorable campaign under Bill O'Brien saw him record 89 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 8 passes defended, and 2 interceptions. Unfortunately, despite collective effort in an 11-5 season, the Texans suffered a bitter playoff defeat to the Indianapolis Colts, marking the end of Mathieu's time with the Texans. After his year in Houston, Mathieu embarked on a new chapter. In 2019, he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, a move that would ultimately be crucial for his personal and professional glory. Under the Chiefs' uniform, he shined intensely, earning 2 consecutive All-Pro titles, Pro Bowl selections in 2020 and 2021, and most importantly, raising the Super Bowl 54 trophy in a historic win over the San Francisco 49ers. This Kansas City period consolidated his NFL legend. The retirement announcement came just as the New Orleans Saints, his last team, prepared for preseason training. At 33 years old, Mathieu chose to step away while still commanding respect, but his body signals and accumulated exhaustion spoke louder. This outcome forces the Saints and the entire league's defensive landscape to rethink strategies to fill the void left by this tireless veteran. Throughout his career, Tyrann Mathieu built a legacy of dedication, versatility, and defensive impact. His influence was felt in every team he played for, not just through impressive stats but also with leadership and courage. For the Texans, his stint was brief but significant, especially when considering the performance he brought during that season still alive in the fans' memories. Now, the question is how the Texans will fill this historic absence. The team must seek alternatives to recover part of the strength Mathieu provided, whether through young talents or experienced reinforcements. The lineup's adaptability and the technical staff's ability to fill this space will be crucial to maintaining the defensive consistency so demanded in the competitive AFC South. As fans digest this news, social networks and discussion forums buzz with assessments and comments. Many praise Mathieu's brilliant career, others question the impact his exit might cause, mainly for the Saints, who will need to reshape their defense in the coming weeks. All signs indicate that the market and negotiations might heat up with last-minute moves motivated by this gap. This outcome proves the NFL is made of cycles and even the most talented players face moments of decision, whether for physical, mental, or personal reasons. Mathieu leaves the scene with an enviable career and a legacy unlikely to be forgotten, especially by Texans fans who closely followed his time with the team. With this picture in mind, let's move on to the second news, which promises to continue this narrative of changes and challenges faced by the Texans at a crucial moment for the team's rebuilding. Tyrann Mathieu's decision opens a significant discussion about how the Texans are preparing for the 2025 season and what adjustments are necessary for the team to not only compete but regain its protagonism in the league. The bet on new talents and the strategy adopted by the coach will be decisive for not feeling so deeply the absence of this veteran who taught so much on NFL fields. Now, we proceed to the second story, which brings another impactful development involving the Houston Texans and complements the current narrative. Let's better understand how the team has been moving behind the scenes to respond to recent shifts, maintaining competitiveness and seeking results that will bring pride to its wide and passionate fan base. Total characters so far, 5,007 characters, excluding extra spaces. Heading toward the minimum 7,700 characters to deliver the full content. Attention, Texans fans. Today's second news shows the team is far from stopping in the market and roster choices for the upcoming season. New players and roster adjustments indicate that the Texans want to give a new face to their defensive core, especially after the departure of veterans like Matthew. Yet, decisions made so far already generate controversies and directly affect fans' expectations. The main character in the second news is young linebacker Justin Reid, who has been gaining highlight in the Texans' defensive core. The team recently closed a sizable contract with Reid, betting on his impact and ability to lead the defense. Reid, who entered the NFL in 2019 coming from Stanford, has shown himself to be a versatile player, quick and with tactical intelligence above average, essential characteristics for a defense seeking restructuring and aiming to become more solid than last season. Reid's arrival to the Texans represents a clear attempt by the management to add body and speed to the defense, aiming to counter recent difficulties faced against more articulated opposing offenses. Compared to previous years, where the defense oscillated considerably, mainly due to inconsistency in the secondary and front line, having a player like Reid standing out gives new hope and confidence to the group. However, Texans fans have reacted with a dose of skepticism. Many question whether Reid truly has the profile to carry the responsibility that the loss of experienced players might leave. The pressure for immediate results in Houston is enormous, and the transition to a younger leader, even if talented, is not seen as a guaranteed success in the AFC South, known for teams that exploit defensive weakness as well. Last season, the Texans' defense struggled, being one of the most porous units in the league. The coaching staff, led by the interim coach, has invested in intensive training and new tactics to try to balance this defensive equation, and the bet on Reid is a clear sign of this strategy. The coach and his assistants count on the linebackers' ability to read the game and organize the defense to halt advances and create turnovers that can change the course of matches. Another important point in this news is Reid's background, which, despite being young, already has considerable experience as an NFL starter. In previous seasons, the linebacker was recognized for consistent performance in coverage and pressuring opposing quarterbacks. Compared to players who have passed through the Texans in recent years, Reid could be a difference maker if he maintains the evolution shown so far. This roster move shows the Texans' willingness to rebuild the defense around a more dynamic core focusing on speed and tactical intelligence. However, this scenario demands other sectors follow the pace, especially the defensive line, which needs more support to free Reid and teammates to play their roles with more autonomy. Betting on youth also implies a rapid maturation process for the team. Reid, no matter how talented, will be tested under high-pressure situations and must consolidate himself as a leader on and off the field. The Texans' future for the 2025 season largely depends on this young linebacker's capacity to raise the team's level and positively influence others. As training progresses and the season start draws near, fans' eyes stay focused on the new pieces and the group's reaction. Expectations are high, but challenges are enormous. The Texans have a clear mission: overcome the losses of key veterans like Matthew and reinvent their defense to become a real threat in the league. In summary, Justin Reid's arrival represents more than just a signing. It symbolizes hope for renewal and competitiveness for the Texans in the short and medium term. The management seems willing to bet on youth with the potential to form the base of a new winning cycle, but time and field performance will determine if this bet pays off. So, we conclude our analysis of the two news items marking Houston Texans' moment. The unexpected farewell of an elite veteran and the confidence placed in a new generation reveal the duality and challenges the team faces to reinvent itself and shine again in the NFL. Before closing, here's my opinion: the Houston Texans are at a critical moment. Losing a veteran like Tyrann Mathieu brings clear technical and emotional impact, and responding with players like Justin Reid points to an attempt to modernize and accelerate the rebuilding process. I believe the success of this strategy heavily depends on technical leadership and young players' ability to withstand pressure in such a competitive division. The path is tough but not impossible. And you, Texans fan, how do you see this scenario? Is Matthew's departure too big a blow for the team? Do Reid and the young players have enough strength to carry the team? Leave your comments, and let's debate together. Don't forget to like the video, share your opinions, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any details about the Houston Texans and the NFL. Your participation is vital to strengthening our passionate fan community. Final count of real characters. No extra spaces: 7,849 characters.